Hi out there to all the people who are watching this right now and who are taking part in the Easter retreat online this year, a very special one. My name is Marie. I'm from Germany and I did ESM, so the Emmanuel School of Mission, which is a theological formation year of the Emmanuel community. And I did this 2 years ago in the Philippines. And for this special online retreat, I was asked to do an interview per Skype with one of the girls who did this year with me. Her name is Keva. She's from the Ivory Coast. And she has a very, very, very beautiful story of how she met God, how she got to know Him, and how He actually freed her from a deep drug addiction. Yes, just in advance, I want to apologize for all the technical imperfections and the sound and the quality. We just did our best in these times, and I hope you still enjoy, and I'm sure the message will, jump over. Thank you, Kiva, for saying yes. And yes, maybe I said some things already, but maybe you can just say some details to your person, whatever you want to say.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary, for asking me to give my testimony. It's an honor for me to share this with you, with all of you. So I'm Keva. I'm from Ivory Coast, and I'm working as a financial controller here in the financial company, and I'm 29 years old. Yeah. So that's the main things about me. And so I'm Christian. Um, I was born in a Catholic family. Um, yeah, but in 2017, my life completely changed when I met Jesus Christ, the person of Jesus Christ, who saved me from addictions.
So thank you for your introduction. You said in your introduction that you were born and raised in a Catholic family. So I guess my first question is, did you have a personal relationship to God growing up or not? And why was there? What happened that there was the need for drugs later on?
Yeah, actually, the Catholic faith was more the faith of my parents, and it was not my faith. So I was raised into it, but I didn't have really a relationship with Jesus. And I had also really deep wounds into my childhood. So those things made me really suffer a lot. I thought that I was not loved, and and so because of that, I started to look for love into a relationship with men, into drugs, into cigarettes, and so on.
Okay, so we now always talked about drugs and addictions. My question is, what drugs were it specifically, and for how long did you use it? How did the addiction look like in the concrete everyday life?
Mm, I would say for cigarette it was like more than 10 years, and for because I started really younger. Maybe I was cigarette. I don't know, maybe 10 years old, something like this. And for uh, drug, like it was marijuana. Um, it was like maybe during 5 years, something like this, that I was really into it. 5 years, and so if I was how it was intense, um, it was at a point where I couldn't do anything without smoking. It was like I need to go cook. Okay, I need to smoke before. I need to go to work. Okay, I need some courage. I need to smoke before. Um, I need to do the how do we say, the house cleaning. Okay, I need to smoke before. It was really all the time. It was like I was running away from my deep sufferings, my deep those things I told you before, this rejection and so on, and not loving myself and not knowing who I was. I had really an identity crisis, a huge identity crisis, and yeah. So this is how I interpret this today. But at this time, for me, it was just I just like it, and I just do it because it's fun, you know. But more and more during the time when I really starting to realize how strong it was, the addiction. Like I was like, now you are going to a point where it's really grave in French. I don't know how to say it in English.
Heavy.
Heavy, yeah. So it was like, oh, now it's really heavy. You need to do something. And this is where I realized, and I started to ask me some questions. Why are you doing this? What is your problem? You know?
Okay, so you started questioning that habit, right? What made you actually act on it? What made you go to the point where you actually changed those habits or tried to change it?
I met the Emmanuel community. This is where everything started. It was in 2015. I met the Emmanuel community and they had some retreats. And so you can see in my journey that I was still looking for truth and still looking for God, you know, and yeah, and for peace and love and so on, you know, everything that you need. And then when I met the community, they had a retreat. And so I went to this retreat and we had to bring a picnic. So I chose to come with apples, but I forgot the apples. And at the end of the retreat, we had mass, the last mass, and the priest said, "There is somebody, there is somebody who is asking himself questions about a weird practice, and the Lord is asking this person to stop, and this person will recognize herself, because she had forgotten apples for the picnic, you know." And I knew it was me because just before coming to the retreat, okay, first I forgotten the apple, but also I was wondering in my heart, like, oh Lord, this marijuana thing, is it really good? So it was concretely an answer, and so that's where I knew that, you know, the Lord was really knowing me and want that, yeah, he just knew me, like he knew me, and he knew all my thoughts and everything. So when I heard the words, I went back home and I stopped everything. At this point, I just want to highlight that I was in a relationship with somebody. I was living with somebody, uh, and it was also for me addiction. This relationship, it was really a destructive relationship, but I was still in it because of this lack of love. And so I stopped. I said, okay, now we stop the thing and so on, all of this. But I was not in a good environment, and I was still falling and falling.
So it really sounds to me like it was a period of fighting, right? Do I understand? So how did you know that God was still hoping for you and fighting with you? How did you not give up in this fight of smoking and then stopping and smoking and stopping?
Okay, I was really suffering from this unfreedom, and from the fact of not doing the will of God. And so I really realized that if I wanted really to go out of it, I needed to really be attached to Him. So what happened? What really helped me? It was my prayer time. I was really a lot going through adoration, And actually, this is what really helped me. I really felt the love of God for me. He really, each time I was going to adoration, I felt like he was taking me into his arms and telling me, it's okay, we're going to make it together. So it was through this moment of adoration, also through Mass, and also because in Mass it was the Word of God, that I was listening to, and how he was talking to me through the Word, and also through Holy Communion, how I felt really renewed each time, and where I found all the strength to keep on, to keep working and working and working, and also through the people around me. So I had some friends who were aware of the situation. And so each time that I was falling, I was calling them and said, okay, I couldn't make it. I'm desperate. Please, help me. And they came, they prayed with me, and they really encouraged me. And yeah, it was really also a sign of the love of God for me. But at the same time, as he was telling me, "I love you," and I'm not judging you through all those things that I told you. At the same time, he was also telling me, "I want you to be free, so I really want you to stop." You see, so it was both.
Wow, it sounds like a very beautiful but at the same time painful time. You told me that it lasted for 1 whole year. So my question is, when did you get to the point where you were actually free from the addiction?
Okay, so after struggling a lot, um, I went to the point, to the deepest point. And what happened? I went to Ash Wednesday, so I went to confession, and the priest told me, because I told him I was really tired. I was like, I'm tired of all this struggling and so on. I really want to be free, actually. And he said, oh, okay, now that we have Mass, you can really ask the Lord, okay, I trust in you, and I really believe that you will do something really huge in my life, and I ask you to come and to do whatever you want to do. So, and to do whatever you want to do. And then
During this Lent.
yeah, during this Lent. So then this is what I did on Ash Wednesday. I make the prayer saying to the Lord, come and do whatever you want to do, change my life and help me really. And then during these 40 days, it was really a special Lent. Why it was so special? And during this Lent, the Lord really worked in a wonderful way. First, I stopped my relationship with this man, and this separation really kind of helped me to stop smoking pot, because I was in the house where we were living. It was like really every day and so on. So the Lord, I can say, changed my environment then, because I moved to another place, and so it really helped me to stop. And then I was still smoking a cigarette. Um, but during this Lent also, I was going more and more to adoration. I was fasting and so on. So it really helped me to go through it. And what happened is, at the end of Lent, so during the Triduum, um, my therapist told me um, to take 3 days of fasting, where you take one vegetable and you only drink it, and you only eat this vegetable. And I really had a strong spiritual experience, where I met Jesus. I mean, yeah, I met Jesus in the way that after the 3 days. So during these 3 days, I was also going really. I lived the Trillium. I was going to the mass, to all the ceremonies that we have, to really live it fully. So I really live it really fully, and then uh, at the morning of the vigil mass, Um, I was with a friend of my brother, so I didn't really know her, not so much. I mean, and we were in the kitchen, so really normal situation, and we were just speaking like about Jesus and how good it is and so on, and then we got taken by the Holy Spirit in the strong way, where we're starting to pray, and I just can say that Jesus came into my kitchen because we really felt this strong presence of God, and she's starting to have like strong word of knowledge about my life.
Who?
The friend I said I was with, the friend of my brother.
Friend of your brother.
Yeah, so we were together just speaking and
Mhm.
just speaking, and that's how it happened. The Holy Spirit really took us like into a prayer time that we didn't plan actually, you know. And so we started to pray and so on, and she started to tell me, oh, um, uh, the Lord wants you to stop the cigarette. She started to talk about my relationship because I always, even if we were separate, I was kind of thinking, oh, this is the man of my life and so on, you know. And so I mean, she said, the Lord is telling you that really this is not him. He doesn't deserve, he's not worthy of your love and so on. And it was a deliverance for me. For me, it was really deliverance, to be free of this relationship. And also she said things about my family, about people that I should forgive for all the the, the for everything that they have done to me. People I should pray for, and she didn't know those people. So for me, it was really the Lord who was speaking through her, and uh, and so it was so strong, and I really felt this love, and I again experienced this God who is really closer to me, and who know me, who I mean who know who I am, who knows my struggles, and who is really coming to me and really save me, you know. He's coming to take me out of this. And so when this strong time just was over, I mean, we felt that it was over and so on. Then I just took the packet of cigarettes because I was like smoking maybe one per day, one packet, you know. And I just took it and I put it through the trash, and I said, okay, now it's over. And then the Lord really gave me the strength to continue because when you I mean, it was not only this deliverance, but it was also after to stick to it, to this decision. And this is where the Holy Spirit really entered into the game. And I really want to say also that at the Vigil Mass, when I went to the Vigil Mass, for me it was really strong because people were saying, oh, he's alive, you know, he's alive, he's risen. And for me, it was like, he's really alive. Like, I met him this morning, you know. So it was really like, I was, oh, wow, oh, he's truly alive. And, you know, he's our savior. He saved us. And I saw the prayer that I did 40 days ago that was happening. I was a new person, and I was risen with him, you know. So, so yeah, this old Keva was into drugs and all this addiction. She was just gone into because she was, just died with Christ actually, and the new one was just risen with him. So, yeah, it was just so wonderful, so powerful.
So do I understand right that you didn't smoke cigarettes and drugs from then on?
Yeah, exactly. From 2017, from now, so it's been now 3 years. I never took one cigarette or whatever thing you can call. I never, no, never, never, never. And it's not by my strength, it's not by my efforts, but the Lord also gave me the wisdom to make the good decisions. Because after this, I stopped going to parties, like into clubs. I stopped. hanging with friends who were still smoking, or or like drinking, or those stuff. And I was more really into prayer. After this, after a so strong experience with God, you just want to be with Him, actually, because I realized that He's the only one who can truly fulfill me. And then I said, okay, I met you, but I want to know more about you. So this is where I really decided to go to ESM. Yeah, and to take 1 year to leave all my securities, to leave everything that I always knew, quit my job, and so on, to say, I want to know more the one who loves me and who saved me.
Amen.
Amen.
Last thing, what would you tell people who are right now listening to you and who are saying, that's great to hear, but I have so hard times to believe that it can happen for my life and that I can really be free of my addiction?
I would say don't give up on the Lord. Don't think that you are not worthy. That don't be ashamed of your situation. Bring it into the light. Like, bring it really to Him. Talk to somebody in the church, in the community. Don't be ashamed of what you're going through, because you need people around you. You need prayers, and I would say that alone you cannot do it. It's not possible. So don't stay into the dark and say, "Oh, I'm so bad," or whatever. And I want to say to you also that Jesus really loves you. He really, really loves you, and He wants you really to be free. And it's not impossible, because the Word of God says that nothing is impossible to God. Really, nothing is impossible to Him. He can do everything. So really trust in Him. Really realize that that everything that you're looking for in those things actually are not in those things, but are really in Him, only in Him. And how can you encounter Him? How can you experience this love that you are looking for? It's through those prayer time. Go to join a prayer group. I don't know. Join if you love to sing, join the choir where you are. If you, I don't know, you can also go to adoration as often that you can. Be with the right people. Be with people that you know that can really encourage you, help you. Use all those tools, all those things that God is giving you to get out of it. But you need to take a decision, because He will not take you and say, okay, now you are to adoration. You need also to take this decision and to say, okay, I think that the real question is, do you really want to go out of it? Do you realize how it makes you suffer? Do you realize it? How you are so slave of it, you know? And if you don't, then ask Him to help you to see it, and He will deliver you.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Keva. Thank you. God bless.
God bless you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.